Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Tam Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Kandar Atom Vikamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Jami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Andani Yasa Sakale Priya Priti Manti Vasyan Divan Kayanti Chiram Naganti Anam
Shama Sundarada, Shama Sundarade. Hey. Oh, okay. Shama Sundarada, Sundarade. Shri Guru. Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma. Bandon Muisavadana Mate. Bandon Muisavadana Mate. Yanhara Prasadi Bhai E Bhava Tori Krishna Prapti Hayana Hoite. Krishna Prapti Hayana Hoy Guru Mukha Padma Bhakya Chitete Koriya Aikya. Arana Koriya Mane Asha. Arana Koriya Mane Asha. Ese Uttama Gati. E Prashadi Pure Sarva Asha. E Prashadi Pure Sarva janme Prabhu se Saksudano dilo je janme Prabhu se Divyagan Vijay Prakasita Divyagan Vijay Prakasita Bhakti yaha hoite avija vinasayate Preme bhakti yaha hoite avija vinasayate Jai Gayana Racharita Jai Gayana Racharita Chikaru Karuna Sindhu Adama Chanara Bandhu Chikaru Karuna Sindhu Adama Chanara Bandhu Lokena Lokera Jivana Lokena Lokera Jivana Prabhu Koro Doyo Deho More Pada Chayo Prabhu Koro Doyo Deho More Pada Chayo Ibe Asku Sukha Bhuvana Ibe Asku Sukha Bhuvana Prabhupada Patita Pavana Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Om Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Presaya, Bhutale. Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Sarasvati Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasachadivitarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Radha Shivasari Gaur Bhakta-vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Radha Shivasari Gaur Bhakta-vrinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta-vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hey. Let me play drum.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gauranga. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Joy Nitai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Shri Krishna Balaram ki jai ho. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Radhe Shyam. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo! Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo bolo, Hari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. सब लोग बोलिए हरि बोल. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yadubar Prabhu ki jai ho. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So now we're hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam class from His Grace Sorry Prabhu.
Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. So, first of all, thank you all very much for coming. 50th anniversary of Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. I have to excuse my emotion. It's the Parkinson's disease. It makes you unnecessarily emotional. So, excuse that.
However you give is perfect. Don't worry.
Okay, well, I've prepared a class. I'll read the verse and the purport, and then I'll revert to my notes. So this is chapter 13, canto 10, text 49. Is it on the board or anything? No. Yeah? Okay. Angry Mastakam Apunas Tilasina Vadamibi Kamalai Sabakatrishu Buri Punyavad Apitai Angry Mastakam for the feet up to the top of the head. Apurna fully decorated. Tulasi Navadami be with garlands of fresh tulsi leaves. Kamalai tender, soft. Sarvagatrishu on all the limbs of the body. Buri Punyavat Apitai, which were offered by devotees engaged in the greatest pious activity, worshipping the Supreme Lord by hearing, chanting, and so on. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. Every part of their bodies, from their feet to the top of their heads, was fully decorated with fresh, tender garlands of tulsi leaves offered by devotees engaged in worshipping the Lord by the greatest pious activities, namely hearing and chanting. Purport. The word Buri Punyavad Arpitai is significant in this verse. These forms of Vishnu were worshipped by those who had performed pious activities, Sukriti being, for many births, and who were constantly engaged in devotional service, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu. Bhakti, devotional service, is the engagement of those who have performed highly developed pious activities. The accumulation of pious activities has already been mentioned elsewhere in the Srimad Bhagavatam 10:12-11, where Sukadev Goswami says, Itam satam brahma sukanu bucha dasyam gatanam paridaivatena Maya Shritanam Naradara Kaina Sakam Bijaru Kritapunya Punja. Those who are engaged in self-realization, appreciating the Brahman effulgence of the Lord, and those engaged in devotional service, accepting the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Master, as well as those who are under the clutches of Maya, thinking the Lord an ordinary person, cannot understand that certain exalted personalities, after accumulating volumes of pious activities, are now playing with the Lord in friendship as cowherd boys. In our Krishna Balaram temple in Vrindavan, there is a tamal tree that covers an entire corner of the courtyard. Before the temple, the tree was lying neglected, but it has now developed very luxuriantly, covering the whole corner of the courtyard. This is a sign of Buri Punya. This verse once more. Every part of their bodies, from their feet to the top of their heads, was fully decorated with fresh, tender garlands of Tulsi leaves offered by the devotees engaged in worshipping the Lord by the greatest pious activities, namely hearing and chanting. So, once again, thank you all for coming. Thank you, the managers, for asking me to try to say something worth hearing. You have to excuse my voice. I have problems with my throat, but the topic's good, so don't mind the delivery. So one thing is that this is glorifying Tulsi Devi in particular, because this is the highest form of decorating a deity, to offer Tulsi leaves at Krishna's lotus feet. Rudrani likes to offer garlands, and here we find all the cowherd boys. They're all covered in Tulsi leaves. So I thought I'd speak a little bit about Tulsi Devi today. I had one experience myself, and I'm going to read a few experiences and occasions when Tulsi came up as a subject for discussion during Prabhupada's stay with us. My own experience was that I had joined ISKCON Vrindavan in early August, I think, 1975. I'd come to India for the first time in 75. It proved to be the best year of my life. That and the following 2 years, I had come for the temple opening. I'm not going to reiterate all of that, but when we returned to Australia, where I was stationed at that time, I had it in my heart that I'd like to go back and serve in Vrindavan. So I took off from the Australian Yatra without taking any permissions. I went out on the street and collected enough money to buy a one-way ticket. I arrived here in, I think it was early August. I came by plane and I was in Delhi, and then I came by train to Mathura and then Tonga to Vrindavan. And the Tonga stopped just outside the front gate there. And the first person that came out was Bhagavad-Gita Prabhu. Is he here? What? Okay, anyway, he was back to Richard at that time. He'd just joined a few months before. We came to Vrindavan for the opening, and there was a problem with the manpower, not enough pujaris and people to run the temple. We'd never had a temple this big before. So Prabhupada ordered the GBCs take two people from each zone, and instead of them going back, they have to stay in India. So Bhakti Richard was one of the ones that was chosen from Australia by Madhavisa Swami at that time, and Purnachandra Das from Adelaide. So I'd been writing with Bhagavad-Gita, Richard. We were good friends by that time. And I told him I may be coming to stay in Vrindavan. So sure enough, when I arrived in Vrindavan, I got down off the Tonga at the front gate. The first person that saw me was Bhagavad-Gita. So he was very exuberant. Haribol! So he said, come with me. So before I even had a chance to bring my luggage, I was taken into Akshayananda Swami's office. And Bhagavad-Gita announced, this is Hari Sori, he's our new temple commander. So that was it. You could get fast promotions in those days. So I immediately took up the service. I've described it many times before. But I was running frantically from morning till night, getting things done. And I worked hard. I didn't sleep a lot. 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon, 2 hours in the evening. And that was because the 24-hour kirtan was going on. And sometimes, being the temple commander, I had to organize the chanting schedules. And getting somebody to come from 1 till 3 in the morning was really difficult. So I ended up doing most of it myself. I'd spend 2 hours walking around with a little pair of cow towels. And then at 3:30 I'd go off and wake up the next person. And then I'd go around the ashram, that inner ashram, brahmachari ashram, with a gong. And I'd get everybody up, bang, 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 wake up, Mangalarati. And if you didn't get to Mangalarati, you didn't get breakfast. Yes, that was an instruction Prabhupada gave. So I had a logbook, who's present, who's not. So anyway, things were going on. Prabhupada heard the gong. He asked Upendra, who is that? He said, it's Hari Sori Prabhupada. He's getting everybody up for Mangalarati. Prabhupada shook his head. He said, they're just like cows. They have to be herded everywhere. So I went with Dhananjaya Prabhu, who was the temple president. Is he here? Yes. Okay. All right. Who is? So Dhananjaya and maybe 4 or 5 of us, we would go on Naga Sankirtan every Sunday. And this particular day we went down to the Radha Damodar temple. Then when we came out, we took an adjoining street, and there was one of these like holes in the wall. No steps or anything, but in the wall there was some wooden shutter. So we saw the doors open as we came up. We were chanting. And inside there was a small altar. There was a little old lady, and she had Radha Krishna deities about this big. And when she heard the kirtan, she wanted to show us the deities. So we stopped, we gathered around, we had a chant for a couple of minutes. Then the lady took the garland. First of all, she took out Krishna's flute. And I was thinking, what's she doing? And then she got the garland from Krishna. And she started to move towards Dhananjaya, because he was on one side, then we were around in a semicircle. But halfway across, she suddenly stopped, turned round, and came and dropped it on my head. I was playing the mridanga at that time, well, in my way. But she dropped this garland on my head. And I thought, why did she do that? And I could see, I looked at Dhananjaya, he was thinking, hey, I'm leading the kirtan. You know, how is it she gave the garland to somebody else? So it struck me so much. I knew it was something unusual, at least for me. And I was thinking, well, Krishna wants to give me a benediction. I mean, I just knew it very clearly. What should I do? Maybe I should wish for something. Then what is it worth wishing for? So then I thought, well, I just wish that I could increase my service. So that's all internal. Dhananjaya has already gone down the road with the rest of the party, and I stopped there for a few moments to contemplate this exchange. So 2.5 months later, I became Prabhupada's servant. So sometimes devotees ask me, how is it that you got all the good fortune? And of course, it's all Prabhupada and Krishna's mercy. But then, looking back, I can understand that interaction was Krishna showing me that he was pleased with my service. And because I asked, well, just give me more service, then I got to step up into Prabhupada's party. So that's my own interaction with Tulsi in Vrindavan. And I'm going to read a few incidences involving Tulsi Devi. How long do we have? Is that strict? All right. Okay, so December the 12th, 1975, I'd just been made Prabhupada's servant a week before. We were here in Vrindavan. So there's an old man with white hair and a beard who recently moved into the ashram. That was unusual in those days because we were all young Westerners mainly, about 23, 24 years old. So this little old man was living how to relate to him because we had no sense of Indian culture at that time. So when Prabhupada came out from his room to begin his walk, all the devotees offered their obeisances except the old man. He was busy throwing water from a brass lota onto the tulsi plants growing in the small garden in front of Prabhupada's house. He wasn't very conscious of Srila Prabhupada's presence, and a few devotees felt that he was being offensive. Prabhupada's mood was different. He turned, he said, "This is devotee. Just see how nicely he is watering the tulsi plants. You should all do this." January the 3rd, 1976. Getting out of the car at the main gate, Prabhupada was met by the sisters. There's 2 sisters, Katamanchi sisters. They'd offered a big property to ISKCON in Nellore, South India. And we were invited. Mahamsa had made an arrangement to have a big pandal. Prabhupada flew down with myself and Tamal Krishna Goswami, who had just come over to be Prabhupada's secretary for the month of January. Prabhupada had a system. There was a permanent secretary and a servant, and then any GBC could book in for 1 month and travel with Prabhupada. So Tamal Krishna Maharaj got booked in January the 1st, 1976 for that month. So and Harikesh was on the party, he was cooking. So we went by train to Nellore, had a wonderful reception, and then we were driven to the property. So there was 2 parts, 7-acre plot which was clear, and then a 2-acre plot on which they had their house. So we were being offered the 7-acre plot. So Prabhupada wanted to do it. So getting out of the car at the main gate, Prabhupada was met by the sisters. Together, we all walked the short distance from down the drive to the main house. The drive ended in a small circle with a fountain in the middle at the front of the house. At the side of this, out in the open, we passed a small bust of Krishna with a cow. We also noted Tulsi plants growing here and there in the garden in large numbers. So it was a weird experience. When we settled in, the 2 sisters, more or less as a formality, came to offer their respects, but they were very dry, not exactly unfriendly, but not friendly either. And it seemed a little odd anyway. So after the first morning, I gave Prabhupada his massage. During the massage, he came to Prabhupada. He was very disturbed. And he said, Prabhupada, these people are crazy. Prabhupada bristled. He didn't like to hear that kind of criticism. He said, they are crazy or you are crazy? So he said, well, crazy I may be, but these people eat meat. So outside the house, there was a wire fenced area, and you could hear this chickens. So I said, Prabhupada, they're keeping chickens. He said, oh, that means? So I was trying to be optimistic. I said, well, they must be eating eggs, because they were slaughtering them as well. So Prabhupada said that Harikesh should not use their kitchen, but he just set up his own affair. So on the next day, January the 4th, I mentioned during a short tour of the property that I was pleased to see many Tulsi plants in the garden. But then I felt shocked when I came upon a chest-high pedestal holding a Tulsi plant cut into the shape of a suspiciously familiar bird. You know, in the West they have the hedges, they make different animals. So somebody trimmed this Tulsi plant to look like a chicken. So I felt shocked when I came upon a chest-high pedestal holding a Tulsi leaf plant cut into the shape of a suspiciously familiar bird. Even that Tulsi tree around the corner, they have clipped it to shape it and cut all the branches, I told him. So we had a successful time there. The pandals were great. About 6,000 people a night were coming. Prabhupada was speaking very strongly from the 6th canto. Tamal Krishna had brought the first part of the 6th canto with him from the BBT in LA to India to give to Prabhupada. Prabhupada would get two numbers of volumes of each canto as they were being published. The BBT would put a gold edging on it. And Prabhupada gave one copy to the chief speaker at this pandal. So we had a discussion on the 7th of January about the weird kind of atmosphere that was there. These sisters were just inhibited. So January the 7th. Even the planting of the Tulsi leaves, which we had taken as a sign of devotion to Krishna, took on new meaning considering these revelations. There are two kinds of Tulsi trees, one with green leaves and one with blue leaves. The green being named after Lord Ram and the blue after Lord Krishna. Inspecting the garden on our first day there, I had noticed many Tulsi bushes planted in an alternating sequence. Green, blue, Ram, Krishna, Ram, Krishna. I also recall the Tulsi bush in the pot that had been trimmed into the shape of a large bird. No doubt that it was a chicken. With this information, many pieces of the puzzle now fell into place. This Calcutta mission is also well known as the Mugi mission because its members keep large chicken farms and are known meat eaters. These two sisters raised chickens and ate the meat. This mission is also has a consistent formula for the layout of their ashrams: a temple, a comparative studies library, and a meditation hall. So Prabhupada, as soon as he arrived, he saw that there was something not right. But he went through with the whole program. Then on the last day that we were there, Gopal Krishna Maharaj, Adhikari at that time, he finally arrived from Bombay with the deed of gift. So when Prabhupada read the deed of gift, the footnotes mentioned that all construction on this complex has to be completed within 3 years. If it's not, then the whole thing, including whatever's been built, has to be given back to the sisters, and they can give it to another organization, such as the Ramakrishna Mission in Calcutta. So Prabhupada said they're cheating us. And he said in construction at that time in India, you had to get government permission to get cement and all the essential goods. If you didn't get no objection, then you couldn't buy cement. So naturally there's lots of black market stuff going on. And a lot of buildings were built with, to save money, they were built with really thin, weak consistency cement. Then after a few years they would fall apart. So the Ram Prabhupada said that the Ramakrishna Mission, they're not so popular now. He said, whereas we're increasing, but we're the only organization, spiritual, that's actually expanding. So he surmised that these ladies have been seduced by some Ramakrishna members. I mean, I hate to say the word sannyasis, but that's what they advertise themselves as. And that they persuaded these ladies to give the land to ISKCON. And then with this addendum, when they get near to completion, we can stop them and take it. So Prabhupada didn't voice this out loud except to his secretary and servants. But it turned out, it ended, we left. Then Prabhupada told Mahamsa, now you immediately negotiate with these ladies that we shall take the temple, but we shall not, he said that we should take the temple, but not under the conditions that they require. Let them remove those conditions and unequivocally give it, and then we'll accept it. So they wouldn't do it. A month later, Prabhupada was visited by Mahamsa. He said, we met with the ladies, we spoke with the lawyers, we got in contact with everybody that was involved, but there's no way that they were going to budge. So we left it. Prabhupada wrote to Shravanananda Prabhu, dig up the foundation stone and take it to Madras. I mean, it's kind of radical Prabhupada. He'd done the installation, put an Antashesha in the pit. It was a big affair. And then at the end of it, he said, dig him up and bring him back to Madras. So that was another episode. They were followers of the Murgi mission, chicken mission. And they were trying to dupe us. But Prabhupada was a lot smarter than what they thought. As many people in India found out, in Bombay and other places, Mayapur, you couldn't stop Prabhupada. You couldn't trick him. You couldn't fool him. He knew everything that was going on. So that was an interesting episode. So after that we left. We went up to Bombay and then Calcutta. And on the 17th of January, 1976, Prabhupada drove from Calcutta to Mayapur. And they had just finished the construction of the main gate. In those days, the few Gaudiya mats that there were down the road, they didn't have big fancy entrances. Prabhupada was the first one to put something up that size. It was big enough that you could drive a truck underneath it. So that became our main gate. And on the 17th, end of 76, as we approached, we saw that the construction of a beautiful and impressive gatehouse had been completed at the entrance to our property. The gatehouse is 15 feet thick with 3 archways. The center archway is wide and high enough for a truck to pass under, while the 2 sides are for side entrances are for pedestrians. Above the archways sit 5 domes, and the large central dome is capped with an ornate brass spire reaching some 50 feet or so into the air. There are several rooms on the domes in either side. The entire structure is attractively painted, the domes in saffron and maroon with yellow on the facing wall. Large footprints of Lord Chaitanya, adorned with tulsi, a sprig of tulsi leaves, and surrounded by lotus flowers, are emblazoned on the front, and the words Sri Mayapur Chandradaya Mandir below them. So when you first go in, you go in the tulsi leaves. So Prabhupada settled in. We ended up being in Calcutta that year for over 2 months. And as the devotees started to arrive for the festival, then Prabhupada was having long, wonderfully interactive discussions with his leaders as he walked. So as we brought, this is on February the 7th, during his massage, Prabhupada heard a letter from Balavanta Das, the temple president of Atlanta. He just had a heart attack a few weeks back, but I think he's recovering now. In which he learned that the devotees were making tea from tulsi leaves. Immediately stop it, he exclaimed. He was very disturbed by this news and declared that such tea could not be made even for Lord Jagannath during his yearly convalescence. So now I see there's some company out with, they sell tulsi products. So that's commercial exploitation. of Tulsi Devi. Distribution of Tulsi leaves as prasadam is fine, but you can't make a business. Prabhupada, March the 14th. So a couple of days later, Pancha Dravida Maharaj asked Prabhupada a question, that why, if it is a question of Agyata Sukriti, that the Indian people who from their birth water the Tulsi tree, chant Hare Krishna, and do so many pious activities, don't seem to be taking to the Krishna consciousness movement. Meanwhile, so many Westerners are becoming Prabhupada's followers. Prabhupada used a metaphor to explain the position of the Indian people. It was perhaps also a revelation as to why he is putting so much personal effort into his Indian preaching, despite the seemingly poor response. That is temporary, he said. They may come again. It will never go in vain, just like this cloud. A cloud is meant for raining. Now it is not raining, but when there is sufficient cloud, it will rain. So you cannot say there is no rain. There is, but it is not sufficiently collected. When it is sufficiently collected, then. So even without sufficient cloud, it sometimes rains. That is superior direction. It is not your direction. So how much have we seen it change from 76 to 2025 over 50 years? That cloud has now become a cloudburst. India is again being revived by their names with holy names. March the 16th. Prabhupada's attentiveness to every detail is nothing short of amazing. As he came out onto the cool morning air on the rooftop, he immediately noted a lota that was standing next to the freshly watered Tulsi plants. None of us thought anything of it, but Prabhupada's vexation immediately crossed his face. He asked one of the devotees to check if there was a lota in the toilet room. No, Srila Prabhupada, was the reply. Prabhupada shook his head. He recognized it as one he has been using. He recognized it as one he had been using, the lota. Prabhupada had been using it for bathing on the roof. Somebody had also used it then for watering Tulsi plants. Immediately Prabhupada saw it. None of us had thought anything of it, but Prabhupada asked the devotees to immediately correct it. Just see how Arati, offender, they've used that hot lota for watering Tulsi Devi. Great offender. This is going on, Malechas and Yavanas. The thought of using a contaminated receptacle to water Srimati Tulsi Devi was abominable to him, and he warned us to see that it does not happen again in the future. One who has used that, he has no sense how to water the Tulsi plant. He should be instructed, you never use the toilet lota. It was yet another indication of our lack of consciousness. Obviously, some of us still think of Tulsi Devi as a mere plant, but Prabhupada is fully conscious of her exalted position. So after that festival, we went to Delhi, Aligarh, Modinagar, and then here's the Vrindavan for the second half of the festival. So that went from, I think, about April 1st or 2nd to the 11th. So on April the 6th, Prabhupada took a walk at the Ranga Gardens today. Srila Prabhupada answered questions about the tendency of devotees to wear extra paraphernalia like the Radhakund clay beads, Tulsi beads interspersed with silver or gold beads, and items like the used sacred threads from the deities, which they wrap around their wrists. So I think maybe Yasodhanandan Swami and Guru Kripa Maharaj, they'd given Prabhupada as a gift solid gold nuggets interspaced with Tulsi beads. And Prabhupada liked them and he wore them. But then as soon as Prabhupada was seen wearing this, more fancy jewelry, immediately everybody started buying them. So then Prabhupada noted that now everybody's gone. So he took his off. If they're going to follow him, they're not putting it on. Follow him, taking them off. So he said, it's becoming a fad throughout the society, and the practice should be stopped. He quoted another of his very apt Bengali sayings: a crow eats stool, but young crows eat more stool. He said there is always a tendency at the slightest opportunity to revert back to being like hippies. We should not allow it, he said. If it happens, whatever prestige we have so far will all be finished. Okay, they're going ahead of a month. So in May, Prabhupada spent the whole month there. We arrived on the 2nd, I think it was, and settled into the Koalo house. Ambarish owns that building, I believe. Still. So, May the 3rd, a majestic banyan tree dominates the back garden. Devotees grow their own vegetables around the grounds, and flowers, mangoes, pineapples, and doves seem abundant. Outside the front entrance to the building are the largest Tulsi plants I've ever seen. They stand at least 7 or 8 feet tall. Our Honolulu Yatra was the first to so successfully cultivate and worship Srimati Tulsi Devi. Thanks to the sincere efforts of Govinda Dasi, one of Prabhupada's earliest disciples. Is Govinda Dasi here? No. Okay, May the 7th, 1976, Honolulu. During Guru Puja, a long-haired young man presented Srila Prabhupada with a huge set of Tulsi beads. As they lay on the base of the Vyasa, I saw Guru Kripa Maharaj, don't mind Maharaj, wherever you are, glance first at them and then to me. He had a possessive look in his eye. After Prabhupada stepped down from the Vyasa, I gathered up the beads with his other paraphernalia and put them in my room. The same devotee apparently had given His Divine Grace a similar set of Japamala last year, but Prabhupada had not used them and had left them behind. Just after breakfast, Prabhupada called me in, asking to see the beads. He liked the feel of them, and he told me to string them in properly with knots and have a bead bag made also, so that he could chant on them. I happily spent the morning restringing them, while Kusadasi made an attractive, giant-sized bead bag from saffron-coloured silk. As I sat knotting them, Guru Kripa Maharaj happened to walk in. "They're mine," he declared forcefully, as if to dissuade me of any thoughts of keeping them for myself. "No, they're not, Maharaj," I said reprovingly. "They're Srila Prabhupada's. He's going to use them." Guru Kripa had speculated that Prabhupada would do the same thing that he did last year. And as the GBC, he had mentally laid his claim. Embarrassed, Maharaj immediately corrected himself for his offense. Hare Krishna. And then he left the room. Is he here? Anyway, hope he doesn't get on my case for that one. So those big beads actually Prabhupada did use on a regular basis. The following month we were in June, yes, following month. June 14th, Prabhupada was in Detroit. We had an 11-day spell in Los Angeles, and then we went to Detroit. We had that, it was a new property. Prabhupada had seen it the year before, and we all know the story. We asked him for a large amount, but he was in a very poor area, or ghetto. But in the middle of it, there was these former palaces that had been built by these big car magnates and businessmen, right on the canal that leads into the Great Lakes. So this was the last mansion that was still in any good order. The other ones had been wrecked by squatters and things like that. But they were very opulent. Prabhupada had called the Detroit temple Devasadan Mandir because of its opulence. Over $3 million, I think, had been spent at that time in 1929 to secure this property, build a property. But then after 30, 40 years, they had to move out. Now it was up for sale. Prabhupada was looking for a temple in Detroit, so they took him to see this Devasadan Mandir. Prabhupada immediately liked it. I mean, it was just a complete classic setup. And so he sat down with the realtor, and he offered him, he said, "This is Lord Chaitanya's movement, this is the highest benediction for humanity at large. Why don't you just give us the property?" So the guy was shocked. Nobody had ever asked him that, of course. Only Prabhupada had the effrontery to do that. And so he said, no. So then Prabhupada said, "I'll give you $300,000 cash for the whole thing." So they couldn't sell it. They knew they couldn't sell it. So Prabhupada offered him $300,000 cash. Afterwards, Prabhupada laughed. He said, "I had no money. I had no idea where it was going to come from. But I saw this must be used for Krishna." And of course, Ambarish Prabhu and Leka Shravanti Dasi, they came forward with $150,000 each, and we got it. So now this was Prabhupada's first visit after the purchase. Now he stayed there for about 6 days, six or 7 days. Sridharkirti Prabhu was there. And yeah. So in the evening, on the 14th, Prabhupada sat in the garden, choosing a spot under a tree on the open bed, on the top of a bank that sloped down to the water's side. It was surrounded by flowers and trees. There were 7 peacocks dancing and strutting around in the gardens. One called from the tree tops just above, and Prabhupada, just above and behind Srila Prabhupada, attracting his attention. With Prabhupada present, it seemed just like Vrindavan. He said that he considered this is our best center, especially with its waterside aspect. He enjoyed it so much that he sat out for 3 hours in the multicolored satin pillows, chanting on his new large Tulsi beads and commenting on various philosophical and social issues. Similarly, after that he went to Washington, D.C., he was housed in a small bungalow that had been renovated. The temple was down a slope. It was like a former gymnasium and facility for these holiday groups in the youth in the summer. So in between there was a pool, swimming pool, big one, and they put a fence around it to keep everybody out. So Prabhupada opened the fence up. He and I went inside. He sat on a chair chanting for about an hour on his beats, and I sat down on the grass below. So there were some nectarine moments where you could just be with Prabhupada and just relax and just kind of bathe in the glow of his Krishna conscious effulgence. Okay, so we completed that world tour, the last world tour, on August the 15th. We were back in Bombay, and Prabhupada was taking his walk. Achyutananda Swami was there. He was holding a pandal for Janmashtami. That was just coming up. So he was the main speaker there. Prabhupada had been requested to open the Hyderabad temple, which he did on the 17th of August, I think. So a couple of days in Bombay. I received a letter today from the Melbourne devotees explaining that their Tulsi plants had red spider mites. They wanted to know if the leaves could still be offered to the deities. I asked Prabhupada and he replied, yes, Tulsi can be offered in any condition. Tulsi is never bad. So, moving on, October the 25th. There was an interesting letter today from Vidyadasi. That's she was resident here in Vrindavan for so many years. So, she's the pujari for Tulsi Devi in Los Angeles. She wrote at length about the care of Tulsi plants. She's been experimenting with trying to grow Tulsi in the open ground, but it has not met with much success. She asked if they should build a special Tulsi house. Prabhupada referred to the affirmative. If it's not possible for Tulsi to survive the winters when planted in the ground, then a suitable house should be provided for us. Even the Canadian temples, which are much colder climate, they are keeping Tulsi nicely. So why should there be so much difficulty in Los Angeles, which has such a nice climate? Even the Canadian, Just do everything very carefully. Tulsi flourishes where there is love and devotion. Then there was 18 questions, which I don't think we've got time to cover today. But Prabhupada answered each and every question. That became like a handbook later on for Tulsi Puja. And there's one thing that stood out in my mind was the last question was whether it was an offense to tread on the shadow of Tulsi Devi. And Prabhupada replied, yes. Jagadish Prabhu was the secretary at that time. He misheard Prabhupada and he answered, let's see. Okay, the question was, is it an offense to step on or across her shadow, or the shadow of any pure devotee? Prabhupada told him, you can step over the shadow, but not on it. I think there's some story about Ramanujacharya. He had a follower. He had these followers with different mystic potencies. One could walk on water. Another one had this ability that if he stood on a person's shadow, the person became immobilized. And then he would take all his money off him and give it to the temple. And then at the end of it, of course, he had to be, these thieves were taken out in a boat into the river by Ramanuja. And then he pulled the plug and they all drowned. That's when he stopped them from going wild. It's a bit like the Yadavas. When the mission was finished, wiped the slate scene. Yeah. Okay, so this is the last one. A little bit over time, but this is a really wonderful exchange that I had with Rudrani Dasi. She was the sister of Panjavali. I don't know if some of you know her. And she was pretty active in the affairs of the temple there. So one devotee that was staying there, Rudrani Dasi was her sister. So the temple president, I think of Seattle, Balakrishna, also asked Prabhupada for some advice. One of his best distributors, Rudrani Dasi, although only 23 years old, is so badly stricken with arthritis that she can barely sit, walk, or even sleep. Despite this, when she is able to go out, she sells twice as many books as anyone else. She has a strong desire to continue with her service, but no doctor has been able to help her. She's currently taking 25 aspirins a day just to be able to function. Balakrishna expressed his reluctance to bother Srila Prabhupada, but due to frustration with any other solution, he now asked whether Prabhupada could recommend any Ayurvedic doctor or medicine, or should she just accept as her karma and go on serving as best she can until she dies. Prabhupada was philosophical about her problem as he is about his own health. He offered no other panacea than that given by Krishna himself. His advice came right out of the Bhagavad-Gita 2.14 and 81 years of experience. The girl who has got health problems must learn to be tolerant. As long as the material body will be there, there will only be pain. Pleasure is a misconception. So, I'm one of those that I've been on a lot of misconceptions for a long time. You can put it on a bumper sticker on the cars, you know. Those are slogans. Pleasure is a misconception. So, going on from that, on October the 3rd, 2004, so this is, 25, 30 years after. Last night, this is from Madanam Mohan Mohini Dasi. Last night, Rudrani Dasi called me and we spoke about the letter that Prabhupada had sent to Balakrishna Prabhu when he was the temple president of Seattle. It was about her failing health. You had asked if she had known of that letter, and if so, what were her thoughts on it? And researched for writing my diaries. I came across this letter, and I just was inquisitive to know what the final result was. So she did know of the letter, and like everyone else, was wondering if Srila Prabhupada would give some cure. When he said in the letter that she should tolerate, she took it to heart, and she realized it was a wake-up call. Only 23 at that time. She said it was a turning point in her life. As soon as she had read in the Srimad Bhagavatam that this body was an abode of pain, she felt that these instructions from Srila Prabhupada were the real cure, that he was the spiritual healer. Nothing much was said after that letter came out. She has suffered with severe and debilitating arthritis for the last 20 years. After natural healing, countless drugs, and so on, operations, there's been little progress. She actually got married to an Ayurvedic doctor, but even he couldn't do anything. She told me that now her hemoglobin count is getting lower and lower, indicating that her kidneys are beginning to shut down. From so many drugs and from so many long years of illness, she said the signs are there, and now she's beginning to prepare herself. I must say that I've known Rudrani Prabhu for many long years, and even though I don't see her very often, the times I do see her, I am most impressed. She has been a shining example of stability and equanimity of mind through all of her distress. She's completely clear and fixed on the philosophy, a very special soul. Interestingly, she married an Ayurvedic physician, and they moved to Vancouver many long years ago, where her sister Pajavali Prabhu is staying. Her husband is a gentle, humble soul, and they're both completely devoted to Srimati Tulsi Devi. They have 2 large greenhouses at the temple that fill to the brim with the most beautiful tulsis I've ever seen. And they make and offer a humongous tulsi garland to Sri Radha Madana Mohan every day. She is the personification of tolerance. I hope this information will be helpful to you. So that was the letter that I got from Madana Mohan Mohini. In exchange, I sent a volume of Transcendental Volume number 5, Diary number 5. And she was grateful for it and sent me back the following message. Dear Hari Sari Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances and glories to Prabhupada. All glories to his beloved and devoted son, your divine grace. This is a short note to thank you so much for remembering and encouraging me by your kind and compassionate words and for sending the chapters. My computer is old and I could not open the attached files. Just yesterday, a computer man came and downloaded Acrobat Reader so that I could see them. Rest assured, he knows nothing about the content, and I assure you that no one but myself will see them. I promise you that. My vision is going, and at present it is hard for me to type or read I get daily migraines. So I will read a paragraph a day. I want to thank you for your foresight to keeping a diary while assisting Srila Prabhupada and for sharing in your nectarine books. Please know that the devotees all over the world are grateful to you. I will try to write again when I can. At present, I'm going through sorry, lost my place. At present, I'm going through some real physical challenges. For devotees like your good self, Rachitambara Maharaj, Rachitambara Dasi, Madan Mohan Mohini have given me great comfort, and I feel the love of Srila Prabhupada through you. I really can't express the peace and comfort that it has given me. All glories to your service, your worthless servant Rudrani Dasi. And the footnote to that is that Rudrani left the body on November the 10th, 2006. It is regret that I inform you of the passing of Her Grace Rudrani Devi Dasi, who gave up her body this morning, November the 10th at 2:45 a.m. Rudrani Prabhu was the sister of Pajavali and beloved husband of Sanatan Prabhu. Rudrani left her body at an auspicious time, chanting the holy names of the Lord, holding the hand of Santa, her sister-in-law, and while looking at her beloved Tulsi Maharani. Best known for her dedicated service to Srimati Tulsi Devi, Rudrani, with her husband and sister-in-law, oversaw the care of the Vaishnava at the Vancouver Temple Tulsi plants, which are featured in the March-April edition of 2006 BTG. Although throughout most of her devotional life, she was plagued with debilitating body, she was always tolerant and dedicated to serving her spiritual master, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. Such a wonderful Vaishnavi as Rudrani will certainly be missed by all who had the good fortune of her association, but beyond a shadow of a doubt, her destination is certainly most auspicious, having dedicated and displayed Vaishnava qualities throughout. And this is a final footnote from Jai Govinda Das. Pajavali described the moments leading up to her sister's departure. She said that Rudrani was feeling quite comfortable all yesterday, and everything seemed to be going well. However, this morning at 2 a.m., Rudrani called over to Shanti, who had been caring for her for many years and who had never left her side, to come over to her. Rudrani told Shanti that she felt an unusual sensation in her heart. They held hands and chanted the holy names for some time. Shanti told her to concentrate on the picture of Vrindavan in gopi form. It was on the front cover of the very nice handmade Get Well card, in which the devotees had written their well wishes. After a few moments, Rudrani responded, "I see the real Tulsi." I have to go now. And she left the body. So, I'm going to finish at this point.
As a result of the book distribution, when she was in a van, they had boxes of books and not the van.
Here, say it again.
Okay. Hare Krishna. I just distribution and in a van with many boxes of books behind her, and and they hit black ice, and the boxes of books flew forward and hit her in the back. And after that, that initiated her arthritis. So she's like a total warrior. She was wounded on the battlefield, and then look at the result.
What's your name, Mataji? Who are you?
My name's Arya Devi Dasi. I've seen you in the Bombay Temple back in the day in the 70s. Yeah. I spent years in Vancouver, so I'm a friend of hers, and she told me the story over the years. Yeah, thank you for the...
Okay, so this is the beginning of the festival, April Fool's. You've had a chance to listen to a fool to celebrate that ceremony, and I look forward to hearing the classes and realizations of all the devotees over the next week or so. Thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Thank you, Harry.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, bolo bolo, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Yo, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. सभी लोग प्रेम से बोलिए Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Bolo bolo Hare Krishna. हरे 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 राम. सभी लोग प्रेम से बोलिए हरे. हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा. हरे राम 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 हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे. हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे. हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे. हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे. हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे. ओ हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे. हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे. ओ हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे. ओ हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे. हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा. हरे राम हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा. हरे राम हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे. हरे राम ओ Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Bolo bolo. Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama,